Now, a new voice in children's fiction from County Clare is about to make her debut with a story inspired by folklore, family and finding where you belong. The Shannon writer Laura Keohane is going to be publishing her first novel called Secret of the Selkies next month, with the O'Brien Press bringing readers into a world of magic and mystery drawn from Irish legend. And delighted to say Laura joins me now in studio. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Alan. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks very much for coming in. And when I say next month, it's actually, that makes it sound further away than it actually is, because we're nearly at the end of April and this is at the start of May, the 4th of May. So next
May the
week.
4th. May the 4th be with me.
Hey!
Yeah.
Very good. Are you a Star Wars fan?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, good.
I won't get kicked out just yet, so yeah. Phew. Right answer.
How does it feel to be on the verge of, you know, your not just any book being published, but your very first one, which I'm sure a lot of blood, sweat and tears and time has gone into?
Absolutely. Well, it's one of these things that it's really special, and it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of time and effort and a lot of backing. And as you said, I'm really, really lucky to have landed on my feet with a gorgeous publisher, the O'Brien Press. And they held my hand every step of the way, because when it's your first time doing something, you don't really have a clue what to be doing. But they're absolutely brilliant, and I'm really proud of it.
Of course, to get to that point, there was a lot of backstory. How did you get into writing, and the focus on children's writing and children's fiction in particular? Tell us a bit about that.
It's a bit of a sad story, to be honest with you. Not in like a super depressing, horrible way that you have to kick me out of the studio.
I was like, oh God, what's Laura going to come out with here?
But it was one of these things that I always wanted to be a writer. As in, I remember getting an AX210 electric typewriter for Christmas when I was around 8, and that was my dream. And unfortunately, I took some ill advice from someone when I was maybe 13 or 14 who said, nah, this isn't for you, you're not good enough. And I stopped writing.
And what were they basing that on? Had you given them an example of your writing?
I had at that stage, and so unfortunately I turned a different route and became a woman in STEM, as they say. And I only started writing a few years ago when I saw another local author, Alex Dunn, had written a book. And I said, hey, I know her, to see her. If she can do it, so can I. And
so Alex provided a bit of inspiration.
Yeah, definitely.
In the intervening period of having your dreams shot down by someone who didn't know what they were talking about, and, you know, starting 3 or 4 years ago, had you put pen to paper or finger to typewriter or computer at any stage, or even thought about it?
No, absolutely nothing. Zero whatsoever. So when you completely stopped.
So when you started on this journey, or took up the journey again, did you have any ideas for stories that you had in a journal, or
no, absolutely nothing? So I'm one of those weirdos who I saw that there was a National Writing Month, and as I said, poor old Alex Dunn, who I have since latched onto and has forced to be my friend, not in a stalker way, but maybe a small bit. But I read a blog that she did about a National Writing Month where she wrote the first draft of her debut in a month, and I said, if she can do that, so can I. So I sat down and I wrote the first draft of what is now Secret of the Selkies.
You're holding in your hands. And I mean, look, in fairness, it's great that other Clare writers are looking out for each other. And I suppose
there's something in the water here.
Keep the Star Wars analogy going, Alex is the Obi-Wan to your
absolutely,
to your Skywalker.
Absolutely. Oh, I don't know what you like that, but
well, maybe. So you start writing. How long did it take to come up with the idea for Secret of the Selkies? And then, you know, because it's been so long since you'd attempted writing a story, putting meat on the bones of fleshing out the narrative.
Like, it sounds a bit naff, but like the thought dropped into my head, and I can tell you the exact moment that the story came to life. And it's a true story, and it was on Lahinch Beach, and it was one of those gorgeous July days where there's 4 seasons and chasing each other across the sky. And I had 2 small kids at the time, and it was that mist was dropping down on top of us, and my smallest was barefoot and in a nappy and in a raincoat, and every time I put her down she started running towards the sea while her brother was scared poking jellyfish behind me, and I had to just keep legging it after her. And I picked her up and I scooped her up and I said, oh my God, she's a Selkie. And it just came like a flash. And I said, what if I write a little story about a girl who finds a coat, who isn't sure where she belongs in the world, and maybe she can find her place and have a big magical adventure at the same time.
There you go. It's amazing a story like that comes from daughter in a nappy running towards the
water. I know. She probably doesn't like that one. We won't name her. She's not in nappies anymore.
You fleshed out the story then. So it centres on Lana. So tell us a little bit about her and the story, and that kind of mixture of realism and fantasy, and striking that balance.
Well, I think that's a really natural place to live in writing in Ireland. Like, we are steeped in folklore and magic and the good folk, and these tales go back like as far as our history does, and like we have our Bailidish or our folklore, so it doesn't feel like a stretch to me. Again, I'm showing myself up as slightly crazy, but I think I believe in all of that magic stuff. So
I would probably, no doubt it helps when you're writing all of this. There's a conviction and passion for it there. Finishing the book, as you say, O'Brien Press has been great. Presumably, part of that aspect is an editor and so on, helping you shape it, and this needs to go and add this or whatever. How did you get to that point though, where you had the interest of O'Brien Press? Were you sending out manuscripts or? Yeah,
well, again, this is where, I was very lucky to happen upon another person who was started as a mentor, but again, who has become a friend. And I think she was in with you not that long ago, the amazing Grania O'Brien, award-winning Grania O'Brien, author of Solo. And I first went to Grania with a very rough manuscript because I had never written anything before. And I went to her as a client. She has an amazing service called the Rontu Literary Service. And I went to her and she very gently nudged me in towards something a little bit more book-shaped than I had handed to her originally. And from that, I think that it would have rotted on my desktop, except she bullied me into sending it into the O'Brien Press. And from there, they were so gorgeous and so supportive, and they said, yes, please, we'll take your book. And from there, I met my editor, Owen O'Brien, and he was actually down last week with Ennis Bookshop doing the rounds, signing for his beautiful new book. And he was just a joy to work with. Again, total novice over here. Held my hand the whole way through the process. It was 2 years since contract till publication next week, so it doesn't happen overnight. No,
we definitely know from speaking to writers on this show that it's a long process, and you're doing this whilst having your life, job, family, and all of that. It's difficult did you have to become regimented in setting time aside? And now that you have a publisher, I'm sure future books will come. Is this going to be a consideration of how you'll structure your life to be able to write?
It's such a cliche, but it's not work when you love it. It's easy. This is my break. This is when I'm dropping the lads to their various activities and I'm sitting in the car and I'm pretending to... It feels like I'm pretending to work. It doesn't feel like work.
Well, that is great to hear. And that, the tap was turned off for so long, Laura, and you turned it on after years and years, and out came Secret of the Selkies. Is it going to be like this, crack in a dam now, and the water's going to keep flowing?
100%.
Have you all? It's the 4th of May. The book is out, but are there already thoughts turning to book number 2?
Well, I'd love to. I have a few drafts of other things written, but we'll have to wait and see how this one goes first.
Okay. Well, look, we wish you very well with it. It's always a huge moment for any writer, that debut novel as well, and the hard work that goes into it. So, look, congratulations, particularly after that mean person shot your hopes and dreams down when you were younger.
Well, don't give up, kids, isn't that it?
Exactly. Triumph over adversity. Laura Keohane, wish you the very best with
Thank
it,
you
and no
so
doubt
much.
we'll be speaking to you many times again in the near future. Laura Keohane there, her book is Secret of the Selkies, out next week, the 4th of May, with us on Wednesday's Morning Focus.